These are the two lights you're ever only going to need. Just kidding, we use a ton of other lights, but today I'm only gonna talk about two very important lights that you can add to your setup today. I'm talking about the Aputure 600D and the Amaran F22. These two combine for a dynamic duo. I'm gonna go through a couple different setups in this video, showing you guys the versatility and the flexibility and the power of using only these two lights. The reason why we have chosen to invest our money in these types of lights, specifically the Aputure and Amaran family, is mainly because of the Sidus link and the ability to sync and allow all of our lights to be in one app so that we can control and easily manage. Also, the durability. We've never had any issues with the Amaran or the Aputure lights, and that's mainly the reason why we have chosen to use Aputure fixtures. And again, I want to preface this video by saying we use other lights on set, depending on the project. I really just want to show you the power of using only these two lights and the type of looks you can create. We've used this dynamic duo on countless client projects and also for YouTube talking heads, like this specific video. The first powerful setup you can use with these two lights is a beautiful 600D sunlight blasting through your window. You can have it diffused or undiffused. Right now I have it diffused, like I mentioned. In a previous video and in other client projects, I have the 600D blasting through the window without any diffusion, which creates a beautiful sunlight look, and it gives you some beautiful sun flares. And in combination with that beautiful sunlight coming through the window, we will have our Amaran F22 on a C-stand or even a light stand, giving me a beautiful wrap key light. What a wrap key is let's say you're using the 600D for a large coming through the window, and to kind of wrap more light onto your subject's face, you want to use an additional light, and that's where our Amaran F22 comes into play. So really, I only have two lights going on right here. I have my trusty dusty B7C right here on my lamp, so that's a third light, but it's really applying any light to my face. I just have it there for interest. But essentially we have two main lights on set, Amaran F22 and the 600D. Another great setup with these two powerful lights is a book light setup. Most of the time we will do this for interview setups where we have our talent sitting in the middle. To the side of them, 45 degrees, we will have our 600D, sometimes on a junior C-stand or a beaver board to get a nice low profile with our 600D. We'll have that blasting into a bounce material, an ultra bounce, whatever kind of material you want to use there, and allow that to pass through a polysilk or some sort of 1 or 2 stop fusion to really give us a soft, beautiful key light. We've done this setup so many times on different client projects, and in conjunction with that key light, we'll have our Amaran F22 giving us a beautiful edge light. So basically they're on opposite sides and they play really well together, giving you a beautiful interview setup. And we have a whole video breaking down how we like to do our book light setups, and I'll put that video in the description down below so you guys can check that out after this one. Doing a book light setup creates quite a bit of light loss, so having a 600D in our kit is very beneficial and typically allows us enough power to do those types of setups. Another great setup we like to do with this dynamic duo, we typically do this on quite a bit of corporate shoots where we will bounce our 600D into the ceiling and use our F22 for a key light. Now the reason why we will do a 600D bounce into the ceiling, typically for corporate style shoots, we don't have a ton of control over the lighting. We're working with professionals, people that have, you know, day-to-day jobs and they need to get to sleep or they need to get on with their day, so they don't have all day to shoot. So we have to be quick, we have to be nimble, and a lot of times there are big windows in corporate style buildings. So having a 600D to be able to bounce into the ceiling to give us enough ambient fill to where we don't have to use their office lights. Most of the time we'll cut off the office lights so that we can use our own lighting to have matching color temperatures so that it looks professional and polished. So we'll bounce that 600D into the ceiling. That'll give us a good. And a quick tip when you're doing your bounces, if you want to maintain a shadow side, make sure that you bounce your 600D or any type of light source into the ceiling on the same side as your key light. If you do it on the opposite side, you'll get a fill on the other side, which is still a good look. And the Amaran F22 being a 200 watt source is just enough power for us to give us a beautiful key light. And if we need to soften up the light a little bit, we'll bring in an extra 1 or 2 stop silk and just soften up that key light ever so slightly. And on to our last and final setup we like to do with these two lights is pretty similar to our 600D book light and our Amaran F22 edge light. The only difference on this setup is we'll bring our Amaran F22 overhead and use as a top down. And there's subtle differences between an edge and a top down light, but what a top down light can do is fill in a little bit more shadow on the hair and also give a nice rim and edge light around the body. And so what we'll do sometimes is we will do light gags, and the Sidus link makes it very easy to do these types of quick and dirty light gags to where you don't need a high level DMX switcher board. So in a couple of different projects, we've dialed in our 600D book light or even just shooting it through a diffusion frame, and we'll have our Amaran F22 overhead. And let's say we have a nice clean dolly shot and it's pushing forward, and towards the end we'll cut off our 600D and just leave that beautiful top down light. So it's a nice dramatic switch from having a beautiful soft key with a top down fill to you can switch right away to a nice dramatic look. So we'll do that a lot for interview setups, even leaving those two lights on obviously and not having our dramatic top down key, but leaving those two on. The top down is going to give you just an additional fill all throughout the body, the shoulders, the hair, and our nice big 600D source is going to give us just enough juice to give us a beautiful soft key light. And that's it, guys. A nice quick and short video for you guys to see how powerful and how reliable it is to have these two lights in your kit. I promise you, we've done so many projects where we've only used these two lights, maybe adding little practical lights, accent lights, but as far as our main sources of key, it's been these two bad boys. Make sure you guys drop a comment down below. Let us know if you have the same experience, if you use these two lights together, and what your experience is. Also, let us know what other types of videos you guys want us to cover. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. We appreciate you guys a ton, and we'll see you guys in the next one.